our next teller, Cher Christian. Thank you.
That hot summer day on the Smith farm, the hot breath of the sun promised to heat the air like a baking oven. Not a single breeze stirred the grasses in the trees. My uncles, Norm and Gordon, were kids then. It was 1927. They were lolling on the back porch, trying to think of something fun to do before their mom thought of some work for them. They could hear her in the kitchen doing her usual chores. Just then, two neighborhood boys came up on the porch and said, "We want to go swimming, but our moms won't let us go unless you guys go with us." Norm and Gordon were only 10 and 8 years old, but they had become good swimmers. And the neighborhood moms had told their mother that they felt better about their kids going to swim in the irrigation canals when Norm and Gordon were in the crowd. So Norm calls out to his mom. He says, "Mom, can we go swimming? The kids can't go unless we go with them." Olive said a quick, "Oh, sure." I thought, "Oh, good, we're out of here." But then she added, "But first, I would like you to pick a gallon of gooseberries because I'm going to make pies. Your grandfather's coming for dinner." Oh, shoot. They were disappointed. But then they quickly thought, we'll try to con our friends into helping us pick so we can get done quickly. Well, their friends are having none of that. They said, we'll go home and we'll come back when you're done. So the two boys dragged themselves out to the gooseberry patch. And they managed to pick maybe about a quart of gooseberries in that large gallon pail that Olive had given them. And their friends show up and they were kind of downhearted when they saw how many gooseberries they picked. So they tried again to get their friends to help them pick. Nah, they still weren't having any of that. So after some horseplay, the friend said, "Oh, I think we're just going to go home." Norman goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I have an idea." He takes the gooseberries in the bucket, dumps them on the grass, and starts stripping leaves from the gooseberry plants, stuffs them into the bucket, and puts the gooseberries on top. The four boys rush over to the back porch, and Norm calls out, "Mom, here's your gooseberries." She looks out at this pail that looks like it's full of gooseberries and says, "Oh, that's fine, thank you, boys. Now you can go swimming." Gordon rushes into the house and gets their trunks, and off the boys run to the irrigation canal at the back of the pasture. They just have the greatest time splashing and racing and swimming and then laying on the hot sand of the canal bank. They do this until the sun's getting really low into the sky. The two boy friends say, "Well, it's getting pretty late, we better get home." So off they go home. But this time, Norm and Gordon are starting to think about what's going to happen when they get home. So they're dallying and goofing around. And finally, when they get back home, they kind of slink into the back porch and peek into the dining room. They can see all their brothers and sisters and their dad and grandpa are eating dinner. Olive says to them, "You boys get in there and get washed or you won't get any." They go to the table and Olive goes into the kitchen and brings them their dinner. She hasn't said anything and they're in total suspense. They're wondering, are we going to get away with our trick or not? So everybody else finishes their dinner and Olive brings the rest of the family's beautiful looking pieces of gooseberry pie. Still Olive hasn't said anything to them, so they're like, "Oh boy, maybe we're going to get away with this." Maybe it's because Grandpa's here and she doesn't want to punish us while he's here. But there's still a little bit of suspense, so I think the rest of the kids leave the table and Grandpa and their dad lean back in their chairs and they're visiting. Norm and Gordon they're pretending to listen, but they're still in total suspense. So are they going to get pie or punishment? Olive comes in and she's got these two great looking pieces of pie. So they're like, "Oh, I think we've gotten away with it." However, when they dig their forks into that pie, their pie is not filled with gooseberries, but with leaves. Olive comes over to Norma with a stiff finger. She taps him on the head and she says, "You eat that pie, and I mean all of it."